Hi everybody! Welcome to Lunchtime Live. I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps, and if this is your first time here, let me tell you a little bit about what Lunchtime Live is. It's basically my online newsletter that I come once a week, and like my video newsletter, right? Come once a week, tell you everything that's new at Stitches and Scraps, and then we end it every week with a short demo or tutorial. So this week I'm going to show you a technique called a stacked single crochet, or sometimes a stacked double crochet depending on who you ask, which is another technique for starting your double crochet rows. So a few weeks ago I told you about the chainless starting double crochet. This is another alternative like that. So before we get into that though, I want to tell you all the stuff that's going on at Stitches and Scraps. So our new pattern this week is for the Softy Crochet Along at CAL Central. So if you're new to CAL Central, that is a Facebook group where, and there's a Ravelry group as well, I believe, but it's a Facebook group where we run crochet alongs all through the year, a series of crochet alongs. Hi Beth, good morning. It's good to see you as always. Okay, so my pattern for the Softy Crochet Along came out this week, and it is, what did I name him? Smiley! Smiley the baby sloth. So this is another of my really simplistic, like almost bowling pin shape baby animals. You can see the rest of them behind me over there. And Smiley is going to join the group right there. So the difference with Smiley, what I have not done with the rest of these animals, is this time I filled the bottom with a little bit of poly pellets from Polyfill. So poly pellets are basically little plastic pellets that are weighted, and you can put them, in this case I put them in a stocking and tied a little knot and stuck it in the bottom of the sloth, and that just gives it that little extra weight in the base that helps it stand up better. It's my first time using them. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend if you have stuffed animals that you want to stand on their own. One word of caution on this though, absolutely do not use these on kids' toys for little kids, because they are small, they are probably choking hazards, and there's always the chance, even if you double wrap them in nylons, that it can tear, it can break, and they can come out. So I would stay away from them for kids or pets for that matter, because I can totally see Millie eating them. But if they're just for decoration or for grown-ups or older kids, then absolutely the poly pellets are a great stuffing. And Fairfield sent me them. We've been doing the Softy Cal for probably 4 years. I want to say this is our 4th or 5th year. And I should have checked that before coming online, but I forgot. And Fairfield has sponsored it every year. Fairfield makes the polyfill that we're all used to. It's my go-to filling, but after 4 or 5 years of stuffed animals, I have more polyfill than I need right now. So Fairfield again offered all the designers free polyfill for their projects, but I said, hey, can I have something different because I have so much polyfill? And they said sure, and they sent me the poly pellets instead. So great product if you want to give it a try for weighted fill. So that's the new pattern. And I do plan to make more of these little baby animals. I want to get up to 10 of them. I just don't know what animal to make next. So if you have any ideas, let me know. Okay, so the only other post on the blog this week was a collection of spring flower patterns. Obviously my flower doily is in there, and a few more of mine, but a lot of other knit and crochet patterns from other designers too. So if you want to bring some spring flowers inside, take a look at those patterns. And then what I have coming up, you'll notice the fridge magnets on the sides here. That is for our Fridgies crochet along that we're doing, and we've been doing that all year. The next magnet comes out next week, so look for that. I want to say I've scheduled that for Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't remember. But it'll come out, actually it's probably Tuesday. It'll come out early next week. And that one is going to be, if I can get it right, if I can get one that looks good, I'm going to make it a bluebird. So I wore bluebird nails today just for fun, because I'm going to be recording that video and I thought it would be fun to have the same nails as what I'm making. So that is coming up next week. Also, remember for the Friggies Cal, remember to go on there and enter the second quarter giveaway. We have Unicorn Clean fiber wash products. They're giving away a gift set with a cute stuffed unicorn. It's really adorable. So make sure to go on that post and check it out. For those of you who are new to Lunchtime Live, every week all of these links that I'm talking about, like when I say go to that post and check it out, you can find all of those in the Lunchtime Live blog post, and I've linked to that Lunchtime Live blog post in the description on the video. So go to that link and you'll see absolutely everything that I'm talking about. Hi Naughty Naz, did I say that right? Good to see you. Welcome to Lunchtime Live. I don't think I've seen you here before, so it's great to see some new faces. Okay, so make sure, again, go to that post, check out all the links, and make sure to get your entry in to win the Unicorn Fiber products. These are the fiber wash and fiber rinse products that I use every single time I block, and most of the times when I wash my my handmade stuff. There's only a couple things I'll wash in the washing machine. The rest I wash with these fiber wash products. So check that out. The other thing I'm planning for next week, and this is if I get to it with other commitments, is either that review for the Wonder Knitter from Clover that I showed you last week. I still have to write up a full review for that, so I'll post that this week, or I'll post my full review of that Arch Ravels board game that I showed you. The unboxing video, there's a link to that in the blog post for this Lunchtime Live. But I've got to record a how to play it video and then the full review of it. That one's probably going to take me longer, so most likely I'll do the Wonder Knitter review this week, but one of those two reviews I'm going to try to get out this week. So that's it for this coming week. I know it sounds like a lot, but that's it. So now I'm going to show you, we can jump into the demo unless anybody has any questions. So let me flip over the camera here. There we go. All right, so stacked double crochet or stacked single crochets. I'm going to show it to you first and I'm going to break it down a little bit more after that, okay? So normally when you start a double crochet row, you would chain 3, and that leaves you with kind of a floppy edge. You count that as a stitch, and when you do the next stitch, it doesn't look the same, right? And it's a little bit floppy. So we found one alternative to that, which was the chainless starting double crochet that I showed you a couple weeks ago. This is another alternative to this. Turn, okay? You're going to make a single crochet. Notice I have not chained at all, okay? You're going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. Then you're going to work back into that same single crochet, and this is where I'm going to break it down for you a little bit later. You work back into that same single crochet and make another single crochet. Now when you do this stitch, that looks a lot more like a double crochet stitch. It's not as floppy as the chainless starting double crochet to work with, and it's not nearly as floppy in the result as the chain 3 to start. So let me finish this row, and then I'm going to break that down for you. Now as far as the name of it, it's 2 single crochets stacked on top of each other to form the equivalent of a double crochet. So some people call it stacked single crochets because you're stacking 2 single crochets, and some people call it a stacked double crochet because you're forming a double crochet with stacked stitches. So either one that you see, and I know that can be confusing, but either one that you see will work. Stacked single crochet or stacked double crochet, it means the same thing. So now I want to show you the different options with it. This is such a subtle difference that honestly it doesn't matter. So do it whichever way is more comfortable for you. To get there, I want to first show you a couple single crochets because I want to show you the parts of the stitch that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so look at just a normal single crochet stitch right here, right? You see you've got this V on the top, and that V was formed from the loop that was on your hook before you started the stitch. Then you've got the post down here. And this post is formed by the loop that you pick up in the stitch. Okay, remember those two parts as we do this. So now I'm coming back to the end of this row and I'm turning. I'm not doing a chain. Okay, watch this loop that's still on my hook. This is going to form the top of the stitch. So I'm inserting my hook and pulling up a loop. This one's going to form the post of the stitch. Okay, as I pull through, here's the post and here's the top. Okay, notice that the top of this stitch is sideways because we didn't do a chain to get up to the height, so this stitch is kind of leaning over like this. Okay, normally when you work into a single crochet, you work under the top of it. Oops, I'm off camera. There we go. You work under the top of it, right? You find that top V and you work underneath it. That is the normal way. There's also a stitch called a split or centered single crochet where you go in between the two legs of the post and you work in there. You see the difference there? Okay, I'm going to tell you you can do this stitch either way, whatever's more comfortable. When you do your next stitch, the one I showed you before was going under here, underneath the top of the stitch, right? The problem with that is because the stitch is leaning, because there's no chain to give you any height, this is actually a little harder to get into than a normal single crochet. Also, look what it does to the post. When you do that, the post twists, right? So you get this, the post is facing that way, the top is facing that way. You've turned your single crochet and split it sideways, okay? So that is one look. Take a look at how that looks, and then I'm going to, and that I've done the same thing here. I kept it so we can flip back and forth and see it. I'm going to show you the other way now. So instead of working under the top of the stitch, you can work in between the legs of the post. So go in between the two legs of the post, okay? I missed it. This has gotten tight with all my fiddling. Hang on, let me start over. Okay. So make your single crochet, find these two legs from the post and go in between them. Notice I've got two little loops on the side, one is from the back and one is from the front. Now when I pull up my loop, I want you to see what happens. It split this stitch, right? So it keeps it facing forward. And it looks actually a little bit more like a double crochet that has a chain along the side of it. This is what a regular double crochet looks like, and you can see that the regular double crochet has two legs at the bottom. This has two legs at the bottom. Okay, it has a diagonal line along the side. This has the diagonal line along the side. So this is probably the closest looking to this, but then it's got this weird little side edge that you've got as well. Okay, if you look at the one we did the other way, that weird little side edge is not quite as prominent because we went right under the top of the stitch. See that? But the bottom doesn't quite look the same as this double crochet. Like I said, this is a very subtle difference. You're only even noticing it in this because this is cotton yarn and I'm purposely trying to like pull on the stitches and make it show the difference, okay? If you were doing this in acrylic yarn, you're not even going to see that. So I would say do whatever's more comfortable. This is my preference because I feel like the edge looks better than this. But some people prefer this because they feel like the main part of the stitch looks more similar to the double crochet. Do it whichever way you like, whatever floats your boat, just be consistent. And that's pretty much what my advice for all of crochet. Just be consistent. So one more time, I'm going to show this to you both ways. The first step is the same both ways. You do a single crochet. The second step, you insert your hook either under the top of the stitch and do another single crochet, or you insert your hook between the two posts of the stitch and you do another single crochet. But either way, you stick your hook in the stitch, you do another single crochet. And that is stacked single crochets. So that's my demo for today. Does anybody have any questions on that? Also, I'd love to hear which one you prefer. Do you prefer the split stitch, or do you prefer working under the top of the stitch like normal? Let me know. I'd love to hear what your preferences are. For next week, I don't have a plan yet for what I'm going to show you. It'll probably be once I make the bird magnet. If there's a new technique in that I haven't used before, I'll probably show you whatever that is. But otherwise, if there's something you have a burning question on, or anything you want to see demonstrated, go ahead and comment on this post, or shoot me an email, or find me on Facebook or Instagram, or pretty much everywhere except Twitter. I don't like Twitter. Don't ask me why. I don't really know. I never got into Twitter. But I'm on pretty much everything else. So feel free to reach out and let me know what you'd like to see. And with that, I will just say goodbye and have a happy Thursday. Have a great weekend. And I will see you all next week. Bye.